come on just a little bit late. I am here. Okay, good night. I've been sucked into a show. We're going to ask the question of what is the vibe in the USA today? What is the vibe in the USA today? What is the vibe in the USA today? We're going to use this deck to ask the question. And we're going to use the Real Life Tarot deck to ask this question too. But this is the What's the Vibe Oracle deck. What is the vibe in the USA today? Hope you come back, Mama Suchi. All right. Let's see. Well, the cards come up twice now. Daydreaming. Head in the clouds, delusions, hope, and dreams. The vibe in the United States is about daydreaming. It's about breaking the law. The USA is breaking the law. But yet, there is still hope. Hope. Hopelessness is on the rise, but the hopelessness is muted because there's still hope. A feminine energy. There is a sense that the United States is pregnant. The United States is pregnant with hope. Pregnant with thoughts, optimism for a better day tomorrow. But yet, at the same time, they're pregnant with hope that the United States is birthing a new reality. But at the same time, there is a feeling of drowning, being up over your head in despair, in problems, daydreaming into a new reality, but yet for many are drowning in their inability to get ahead. And many people are salty, angry, bitter. So this is the vibe in the USA today. I wonder if the stream is clear. It's hard to know. Looks like it is. Should be. I have this thing directly jacked into the internet, into the Ethernet. I mean, I'm not using Wi-Fi in this room. So let's go ask the Real Life Tarot what the vibe in the USA is today. What is the vibe in the USA today? What is the vibe in the USA today? What is the vibe in the USA today? I look at this bird right across from me. Do I need to adjust the camera here? Where's the edge? The edge is here. Okay, I think the edge is fine. As long as I stay in this zone, we're fine. What is the vibe in the USA today? 5 cards just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 in the middle makes 5. All right, let's see. Let's see what the real life tarot has to say about the USA today. There's a calm right now. A chance, a calm, a chance to pull that lever to win. But maybe we're just gonna lose again. Dopamine rush from the machine. Pull the lever on the machine. The dials flip and turn around. 7-7, almost. Calm. And what's next? Again, why do I always draw this card, the taser? In the USA, people are trigger happy. They got too many guns and they're pointing them at, they want to point them at one another. Too many guns. Because we're losing again, we're losing ground every day. And that screenplay of America, the fantasy land of the way of which people win on the slot machine of the world. And there is a spirit. There is a spirit floating through, drifting through the minds, deleting the truth. Deleting the truth of yesterday. Maybe it's similar. Is it a similar story as to what's the vibe? All right. 14 people looking in. Let's ask tarot. Let's ask the tarot what it says about what the vibe is in the USA. What is the vibe in the USA today? I like that joke, tarot. But it tells the truth. Angels, Michael, the archangels, please tell me what the vibe is in the USA today. What is the vibe from the superconsciousness? What does the superconsciousness of this country have to say right now? What does the superconsciousness of America have to say right now? Shuffle good. Shuffle good. Okay. Well, let's just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 off the bottom. Let's look at this card first. We have the juggler. Work. The thinkers. unrealized potential. There's a project that people are working on in the country. The leadership has got a great work that they're working to do. But they lack the expertise to do anything. Thinking independent from others. Flashing their swords into the sky. They think. They work. But there is instability here. The overall vibe is instability because the leaders lack the experience to do what is right. That's what I see here. All right, let's move on to another question. Let's move on to something else. All right. So this is the question. I'm going to clear the air. Clear the spirits out of the air. How do I let go and walk away from my sin? What steps do I need to do to let go and walk away from my sin? Let's just see what the real life tarot has to say. What steps do I need to take to walk away from my sin? Okay, all these cards flipped out. That's a lot of cards. Let's see what it says. Well, there's this little alien in a cave. Oh, yeah? It's a little bit frumpy, yeah? Well, it is a bird, isn't it, Mr. Jimmy? I don't know. I like the bird. It's kind of distressed. It's only got one leg. Flies around in distress. Taking a break. It's got some worry in the eyes, too. The eyes look worried. Well, it is frumpy. It has a look like it needs to be groomed. Maybe the bird is old. Maybe it just flew into a window and is stunned. Birds do that. They fly into windows. Yeah. I like it. This is what I modeled it after. That's the sketch I used to make it. But, the bird got that way because I was maneuvering around a tripod when I did the live stream. When I live did that, so I was moving around and I was a long ways away from the easel, but that was good because it gave this effect that it would have had I been not have painted that way, because it looks like it's like the feathers are all ruffled up and they're out of place, and it has that look in its eye that has some emotion in it. Anyways, okay, what else do we got here? We got a return receipt, move back in, 25-hour power, anxiety. So it's, to me, this sin that you got to walk away from is like an alien spirit whispering into you. You need to return that energy to sender. You got to move back into your house. Move back into your house. Captain of the starship. I don't know. Working with Jesus. Well, you want to go to bed? You know what? It's like midnight here. Okay, my reading of these cards. Your thoughts are sometimes like an alien in the dark. You need to return those thoughts. You got to move back into your house, and your house, in this sense, is the foundation of your life. You got to move into your wholeness, what it is that makes you whole. 4 walls. You think of a foundation, a house, the temple, your temple. You're going to move back in, right? You have your anxiety, and anxiety is your enemy. Fear is an enemy, but you got to power yourself up. What is that power? Is it caffeine? Welcome, Miyushi. Welcome. Yeah, I did know that about seal blubber. And in this sense, you got to power yourself up with the word written on your heart. So you power yourself up with this, which is written on your heart, or with this, whatever this is in this portal, or I'll be right with you. You have this mind virus. You have to beware of this mind virus. And then the broken bed. I don't know what that means, though. Maybe I can't apply this to this. All right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to Ayushi's question. We'll be on like an hour tonight, and then I'm going to get back to my TV show that I've been watching. I'm going to put this deck away. We'll put this question away. And let's clear the air. Okay. All right, Ilyushin. Let's clear the air. So you have a question, some more question as far as where you think that within the realm of IT, what do you think you should do? Okay. A direction. Ilyushin seeks direction. On what to do about tomorrow with the career in internet technology. What direction should Ilyushin follow? What direction will serve the greatest good in Ilyushin's life? A direction, just a word, anything. Anything. Okay? $7:26 is the day I started this. 7:26. And you're the first question of the day. Ilyushin look. So, what direction should Ilyushin look within the realm of IT? Okay. There's a part of me that wants to try a different deck altogether. I'm going to do that. Not that one. Get out. Why? That one escaped. Alright, I have not read with this deck before, Ilyushin. This is, I got this for my birthday. This is the most expensive tarot deck I own. It's pretty much a brand new. It's called the Dreamscape Tarot. I may need to look at the guide, but we want to see what the pictures have to say. And so it has not been shuffled before. And Some of the cards are still a little bit sticky because of the gilding. But it is kind of I think that this one... So, I'm just going to pull a card out at random. And want to see what it has to say. I'm not even going to shuffle it. But let's just ask your question. Please ask your question with me, Ayushi. I want to feel that energy in this moment. Feel it in my hands. For everyone that is present and holding space here, please focus your mind to Ayushi. Ayushi seeks guidance as to career guidance in the field of IT, and Ayushi wants a direction to look. A direction to look for further study, for fulfillment, for bliss, computers, which are part of human future, and Spirit knows this because Spirit hopes that the physical manifestation of Spirit will manifest aspects of Spirit world here. Ayushi could be a part of this plan, a plan to manifest Spirit world here, within the realm of computer science. Ayushi seeks a sign. And we're asking the angels to come right now and guide my hand to the right card that will serve as a pointer to point the way for Ayushi to look. Something in here. So, okay. There's the card. All right, Ayushi, let's see what it says. Well, you are going to be moving into a direction. That's what it says. You're moving in a direction. Fast. Moving. That's what that card means. Yeah, let's just see. Let's see if it gets some clarification. I'll be right with you, Raphael. Lee, welcome, welcome. Let's find another card. It has worked its way out. Okay. So an Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands, we're looking at fire energy. So this is a lot of fire energy. inspiration, transformation. So number 9, a completion, a light in the darkness. But I still need a little bit more clarification. Okay, something else. It's probably gonna, oh. So you want to be looking at things from a new perspective, a different perspective. So you just head in a direction, right? You follow a light. This light at the top of the wand, it's a fire energy. What inspires you? So you take what you know about IT and you're going to move in a direction. I guess you could just move in any direction, but you want to be using this light to guide your way. But at the same time, you need to look at everything from a different perspective, like looking at the world as it's upside down. Maybe to try an experiment of, you take the code that you write and look at it backwards. I last night I explained a little bit about where my tarot inspiration comes from, and it comes from years of writing poetry, writing from from different perspectives, going through source information backwards as a means to find something that can be read forwards, a new different perspective, looking at things from a different perspective. That's something only you can do. I can't do that for you. Hanging upside down, looking at the screen. So, looking at that, move in a direction. Follow the light you have in your mind, your inspiration. What is it that inspires you about IT? What is it that inspires you about IT? That is what you follow. And you look at your inspiration, but you need to take some time out to look at what you know and what inspires you from a different point of view. That's what these cards say right now. So let's just take a look at the energy of the number. What is the number? What is the energy here? And we're looking at 9 plus 12 equals 9, 10, 11, 12. Huh. 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're looking at 3. And so, it's kind of, this is a repudiation of what I see here, if I'm using that word right. This is the linchpin here, is that you have that, and I've said this is what, the third or the fourth time I've said this. you take that rod of your inspiration. Let me just as a this of your inspiration. You look this is being your inspiration. Metaphorically, this brush can make new things. Oh, that's kind of that's an unstable background there. You take the brush, and this is you are writing your future. With this brush, you are writing your future. Or maybe a pen. You are the author of your life. You are the painter of your life. That's what this wand represents. It's fire. It's lighting your path. It is your inspiration. You are looking at what it is that inspires you. Because the direction that you want to go is already inside you. Inside your mind, you know where you want to go with this. You have these things that you've been learning. You've been learning about computer science and computer technologies. You have dreams. You have hopes. Well, that's what's embodied in this wand. You take that, then you move into a direction. But at the same time, you want to take a look at all of this stuff from a different point of view. Find within your mind to look at what you know from a different point of view. So like when I've read from you for you the other day, and the spirit behind that was the number 5 of change, challenge, and freedom. Change, challenge, and freedom. Be something that's challenging to you, something that's transformatory to you. And in that change, challenge, you can find freedom. You have freedom of movement to move in a particular direction. And in part of that was of relationships. The number 6, harmony, relationships. And then we just look at this number individually, the number 12, 2 plus 1. So we're looking at the number 2, which is balance and new beginnings. And having a balance of your expectations against reality, balancing expectations against reality, and you can head into a new direction. You are using your creative expression. Use your creativity. That creativity you were born with. You work on that, your creativity, and let your creativity be your guide, because you are a creative person. You're holding that creativity out like a torch in the night, and you're following that creativity. But while you are applying your creativity, you have to always look at things, find a different way to look at the problem, look at the issue. Does that make any sense to you? I'll be right with you. I have Raphael is next, and then Lee. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. So let's just look. Yeah, okay. Anyways, that's all I got for you. I'm going to put these cards back. And thank you for letting me read for you again. I'll put my cards back. These are... If I can get it back. Oh, you don't need to call me a master. I'm actually just a beginner. There are no masters here. I'm at the beginning of a journey here, Lee. Okay, let's go put that over here. I'm going to put that there. We are at Raphael is the next person, and then Lee. $726, number 2, and then we have Lee. 726, number 3. Okay. I'll put you over here, and then let's clear the air. Wow. We've been here almost an hour. I guess we'll just be on for 90 minutes total. I do have church in the morning. Let's clear the air. You need to be present in the moment, right here and now. We are seeking the truth and only the truth. Where is your question at, Raphael? So you want to know what... So you want to know what Augustina thinks of you. I am doing well. Huh. All right, I will. What does... So you think that she's stalking you? Augustina thinks of Raphael and is... spying on Raphael. Okay. So that looks like a... Interesting. I'm trying to think of what deck I should use. Okay, I know what deck we're going to use. For the first question, probably shouldn't be pulling on that. I don't have a whole lot of space here. Okay, let's put this deck over here. Okay. I'm going to use this deck. It is a relationship oracle. And we're going to ask this, your first question. What does Augustina think of Raphael? What does Augustina think of Raphael? Tell us the truth, please. Raphael seeks the truth. What does Augustina think of Raphael? 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 So this is an approximation. This is an approximation. I'm not so... Okay. First card out is a fear of loss, past trauma, and it's lust. So Augustina has thoughts about loss, being afraid of loss, and she's driven by a past trauma. So what does she think about you? Maybe you remind her of something that happened to her in the past. She's afraid. She's afraid of losing love again. But at the same time, she feels lust. But this isn't anything that will last long, because this lust is backed up not by any interior love. It's backed up by something that happened yesterday, a long time ago, and because she's afraid. Okay, that's this. Let's just leave that here, and I'm going to do a 3-card yes/no about asking the question, does Augustina spy on Raphael? Is Augustina spying on Raphael? 3-card yes/no. Is Augustina spying into Raphael's life? Is Augustina spying into Raphael's life? So 1 off the top, 1 off the bottom, and 1 in the middle. 3-card yes/no. So the answer to that question is no. She isn't spying into this. So this is all in your imagination. So in your asking of this question, there is this, it comes out of your shadow self, the devil inside of you, of attachment or of whatever that's going on, and there is a sense of a poverty here, poverty of love, a it's not a full poverty, but it's sort of a delay, a need to change. The number 5, change. Halfway through a cycle. Difficulty in coping. And then some incompleteness. So there's an incomplete list here. But she's, according to this, she's not spying on you. And maybe she's not spying on you because she's afraid. She has past trauma, and her heart is full of lust. And so maybe we need to ask the question. I'm going to write these numbers down of what is the energy here. In this question, we're looking at 15 plus 5 plus 21. I'm going to ask the question is, is this illusion? The question is your relationship to Augustina a pure illusion? Is it an illusion? Is your relationship to Augustina pure illusion? So yes, so this might be all so you talk alone and you hear her laughs. So I don't know what that, you're going to have to talk to her, but you might have a lot of fantasy and illusion going on right now. And so in this sense of this, you have some baggage that needs to be left behind. Some stuff here, stuff that's you need to get rid of. You can, and that could be that you cling to your mother too much. That in order to have a relationship with Augustina, you need to have a different relationship to your mom. I mean, you're always going to be your mother's son, but maybe there is a bond here that that Augustina is afraid that in becoming, a relationship with you, that there may be that she has to compete with your mom. This happens oftentimes. Mother and son relationships are really strong, and there's a call here for you to be a bit more sensitive. So Spirit's telling that there's some insensitivities here. So the Judgment card, meaning you need to come into a place of rebirth in order to. I, um, I don't know if any of that makes sense. She only wants intimacy. Well, I don't know what trauma that is, but everybody has trauma. And that's the truth. Everybody has trauma. No one um and how that trauma affects your life. It could be, I don't know, you'll have to ask her what it is that she's afraid of. So there's some fear on her part. Could be driven by past trauma, and there's a heavy sense of more lust than love here. Hmm. Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is you need to really approach this with um, you need to approach this with more open eyes. And because often in male female and in any in relationships, in romantic relationships, there is a lot of fantasy that goes into it. And fantasy, like lust, is not love. Being tempered by a spirit of love versus a spirit of lust, because now when you're young, it's or younger, we are more driven by our hormones and so forth. But what this tells me is that a rebirth needs to happen, and there's a strong connection to mother energy, which is okay. You love your mother. Your mother loves you. But sometimes those connections can get in the way of a new love, because you may be comparing her to your mother and being in a comparative state. And maybe you're not doing that, but maybe she's afraid to be compared to your mother. You have to look at this person with eyes only for her, with eyes only for her, and not for other women, including your mother. I'm not saying that you are romantically attracted to your mother. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. That's not what this is about. Because there is oftentimes in mother-son relationships that there's a competitiveness, or um, a mother will look at your girlfriends and say that, well, she's not good enough. She's not good enough for you. You know what I'm saying? You hear that? So that's kind of, yeah. That's kind of what that's the spirit that I'm getting here. And so maybe that's not you, but maybe that's something she's afraid of. Being that you will reject her because of those mother-son bonds. Let's go. I'm going to go. We are looking at 23:14. 23 plus 14. What is the total energy here? I'm gonna go to the Mother Mary Mother Oracle. Okay. Yeah. My father my father my mom had talked a lot about that because she had a tenuous relationship with her mother-in-law because her mother-in-law saw her son, my father, that nobody was good enough for him, that no one was good enough for him, and is a that is something that um, that can destroy a relationship, or it can make it really difficult when you get married to this girl, or if you get married to this girl. So we got 20, 41, 64, 70, 77, 14. Five. So the spirit that sits in about this is the spirit that is around this is all about 5, which is change, challenge, and freedom. And you could go either way. I think that at this point in time, you are in this point in time, this is a challenge. There's a challenge here. It may go into change, and in a sense of freedom, you may go your own separate ways. You might be free, but this freedom could mean other things. You can be pursuing this woman, and you are freeing yourself from your baggage. And so you have to in the sense of this, your baggage is down here, and your baggage needs to stay down here, and you need to allow spirit to pull you free from that which holds you down. That judgment card, this is what this is. That's the spirit here of Jesus, the Christ consciousness, whatever that means. Your higher self pulling you free. Pulling you free from those things that do not serve you. So that may be lust. That may be is in a sense what I get is that one of these things that does not serve you is having too much fantasy about this person. Because that fantasy always disappoints. Fantasies never measure up to reality. And then there was the other thing of this sense of your relationship to your mom. And is there going to be some comparison? Are you comparing this girl to your mom? And that's common. It's very common for people to do that. So when you catch yourself doing that, you need to stop doing that. Stop comparing this person to other people. Leave that spirit of comparing down here in the graveyard and allow yourself to be pulled free. Okay, that's what I have for you. I'm going to move on to Lee. That makes sense to you? Okay. So, are you the, did I draw lottery numbers for you, Emil, or did you look at those lottery numbers? So let's go. Are you still here, Lee? Let's go clear the air. For Lee. Okay, Lee has a question. Okay. The same way I like Lee. I like the same way. The same way I like is the attraction mutual? Okay. All right. That's a good question. Did you want me to draw lottery? Oh. Okay. Yes, I will read one more after. I'll read you right after that, and then that'll have to be the last one for the night because, like I say, I do have, and I have church in the morning. A meal. All right. Absolutely, I love drawing lottery numbers. All right. Okay. All right, Lee. Okay, we cleared the air out. All right, let's just see here. Is the attraction mutual? Or is it a one-way street? I don't think we're going to be needing that deck anymore. Oh, I gotta stop dropping that. Okay, so you would like a general reading, Emil. Okay. And you want some more lottery numbers, too. I'm going to put this deck away. I don't think you're not going to need it either. And you're not going to need this, what's the vibe relationship deck either. So I just want to get these things out of my way. All right. Okay, I want to do this deck. I got all these cords and stuff in the way because my my setup, the side setup of that, and if I were to show you my space just a little bit here, the camera's gonna be kind of shaky. And look at here. This is a bunch of decks here, and kind of over here, and then not much space. There's my a whole bunch of my art supplies. You look it over this way, in the background, and then that's an easel. There's a bunch of stuff there, and then you look at, and this thing is plugged into an Ethernet cord. I have an adapter here. This is a USB-C Ethernet adapter. And then I'm going to try to do this without showing off my clutter. Let me see it a little bit. And so this thing is just suspended over the table on a microphone stand. Not that you guys care, but it's there. See, I don't have a whole lot of room. Things get in that wire gets in the way a lot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I've been playing the lottery for regularly for what, 25 years? Yeah, I'm almost no, it's about 20 years, 21 years. 21 years. But anyway, let me get to Angel's question. I can get distracted on the lottery because that's too much of a distraction. So I need to undistract myself here. And we're going to be talking about this and asking 2 yes/no questions. Okay. This is about Lee and Angel. Asking about Lee and Angel. Is the attraction mutual between Lee and Angel? Does Angel like Lee the same way that Lee likes Angel? Yes, no, 3 cards. Everyone, I want everybody here to think about this question about Lee and Angel. And just direct your energy here while I shuffle these cards. Lee, think about the question, Lee and Angel. Direct the question, that energy, to me as I shuffle these cards. Is the attraction between Lee and Angel mutual? Does Angel like Lee the same way that Lee likes Angel? Okay, we cut the deck, and we're going to take 3 cards off the top. 1, 2, 3. And these ones will reveal so the answer to your question is no. It's a hard no. Angel, is the attraction is not mutual. It's a one-way thing. And the reasons is there's a sense of dissatisfaction. And dissatisfaction, the goals are not the same. They have different goals. And and there's a binding here that so it's just not, this is a no. It's a no. And the reason is of a different sort of like, not that it's not, the attraction doesn't seem satisfactory. Maybe there's someone better. There's a binding to this thing, and then different types of goals. The goals are on it's a different level. It's a different thing. And that wasn't what you were looking for. But let's go and let's just ask. I'm going to ask again. We can ask again, but we look at the numbers. And we're looking at 14. So it's the number 5 plus that number 8 plus the number 9, which equals to 16, 17, 18, 22, 4. So what I'm getting here is the foundations. The foundation is not in the right place. It's a shaky foundation. So what it may be, Lee, is that you need to pursue this person more. So she gave hints. Okay, so then maybe what you need to do is this. Sometimes you got to do this. Sometimes you got to do this because it's difficult to read what women think. Sometimes you got to do this. I'm sorry, I can't write. Do you like me? Yes or no. Hand her a note. Hand her a note, like you might have done in grade school. Ask, do you like me? Yes or no. Now she probably will answer yes, but she may not like you the same way that you like her? And that's what that was what your question was. And the tarot card says that this attraction may not be mutual. But maybe you don't like her. Do you like her? I guess we never asked the question is do you like her? Maybe she likes you, but you don't like her. So you like her. Hints are not definitive answers. Sometimes you gotta ask. Put the person on the spot. But this is harder. This is harder than taking the hints that she gives you and spinning fantasy around it. Okay, well, I'm going to ask another question. The question we're going to ask is, should Lee ask her out to a cup of tea or coffee for a beverage? Should Lee ask Angel out for a casual meeting, for a date? Let's just do that. Should Lee ask Angel out on a date? Should Lee ask Angel out on a date? Spirit, tell me the truth here. 2 cards came out. Now we'll see what the other one is. She's on the high ground. You're on the low ground here. So, you know, the answer is you should ask her out on a date. Okay. So she talks about exes and all that. So maybe she's not ready. But here, this is what we see here. This here is, you're not on the high ground here. You're coming from a place of weakness when you ask this question. If you ask her out on a date, you're coming from a place of weakness. You're like being in a place where you're defending yourself. You have to defend yourself, and she's on the high ground and you're on the low ground. But then there is this sense of you are approaching her. You are approaching her with this cup. You're approaching her with this cup. This cup is the cup of your love. But there's a lot of illusion here. You're looking at this, and there's all these different choices, all these different things. There's a lot of illusion that surrounds this. Yeah, well, that's true. And you're not sure. That's where being direct might be your best option. And that being that direct is you ask her out on a date. You ask her out. But you got to be careful. And you got to be careful here is because of this. This is why you need to be careful, because of fantasy, of letting your imagination and your attraction to her, how it will excite your endorphins in your mind, and you get, maybe you're around her and you feel euphoric. You get a sense of euphoria because she excites you. She excites those pleasure centers in your mind. You feel alive. But that kind of stuff can lead to trouble because you will spend too much time in your head out here in the clouds and no time at all here on this horse. This is where you need to be. You don't need to be here coming at this place from a place of weakness. You need to come here from a place of strength. You do not need this, and you do not need that. You have to come at it from this spirit here. You are approaching her with your cup, your heart, and you're going to give it to her. And what happens to her, what her choice is her choice. It's either a take or leave it. But you approach with caution, and above all, you come at this where you have balanced expectations against reality. And this is the most important lesson to learn in your life. Okay? All right, that's fine. Don't take too much time. It's the most, because like I said, the most important thing for you or anyone to learn is balancing expectations against reality. When I informally teach art, the fantasy kills more relationships than anything else. This is a relationship killer. Whatever your fantasies are, that this thing about this situation, this is going to kill that relationship. And a lot of relationships just cannot survive this. Especially when you're in a place, when you're over here, you don't have the high ground. You've given the high ground away. Does that make sense? I know it's hard. It's hard because coming into a place where you hand this person this note, and you're out there. It's like you're riding on a motorcycle. Or have you ever been ridden on have you ever ridden on a bike, but you were not the one who was driving the bike, you were on the handlebars of a bike? And being a kid and being on the handlebars, and you're going fast and you feel very exposed and very vulnerable. Well, this is that experience. Handing this person a note, and you say, "Do you like me? Yes or no?" But I can tell you something in my experience of, I have heard more times that marriages started just like this. That a man hands a girl a note, or a girl hands a guy a note that says, "Do you like me? Yes or no?" That many long-lasting relationships have happened just by being this direct. Yeah, and this is hard. This is hard. This is very hard because if she says no, then if she says no, then then you're not. If she says no, she doesn't like you that way. Well, you then it's worse. It's worse by going on in the path that you're going and building this up. The more of this fantasy you build up in your brain, The longer you want to ask her out, but she looks stressed. All that, you're building more fantasy. You're building more fantasy. You're building more fantasy. And then if she eventually says no, the crash is harder. The crash is harder. And that's why I say that this is a relationship killer. But you're never going to escape this. This is a part of all relationships. She has fantasies. You have fantasies. And it goes on. But looking but being, in a place of having this foundation of, because the theme of today is about this, foundations, and having a strong foundation, and that is a strong, and this is what the Emperor card is all about, having a strong foundation. And that foundation is being, in some sense, your spiritual foundation, having whatever that is for you. If you're if you're a Christian, you're a Christian. If you're Buddhist, you're Buddhist. If you're New Age, you're New Age. But develop. If you're like an animist, you're an animist. But you build your foundation and have a strong foundation. That's the temple of you, the temple of your heart, the temple of your life, and have a strong connection to spirit. But this is hard. All this stuff is hard, and it takes work. There's nothing easy about this. Because what is easy, Lee, or Raphael, Lee, what is easy is this. This is easy. This is easy. It is easy to be this guy here, and these clouds are your thoughts. Being stuck inside your head and having all of these dreams and these things out here. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, and blah, 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 blah. That's easy. But getting out of this space and moving into this space is hard. And this is what you got to do. All right, that's all I got for you. And that's right, that number I got for you was foundations. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Thank you for letting me read for you. And come back again another day. We'll see what happens. All right, let's clear the air, make way for Emil. Okay. And Emil, are you still here? Numbers. You're looking for a general reading. So Emil seeks a general job-related reading. Okay. Do you have a specific job in mind, Emil, that you're looking for? Or do you need some directions as in a place that you need to look? So do you have a specific job in mind, or do you want me to look for what kind of a general direction you should travel? Okay, you need some directions. Okay. All right. I'm going to get a different deck. I haven't really read with that deck before. I've read it for myself, but I need to use the restroom. I'm gonna be back in just about 3 minutes. I need to go. I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. So, so don't go away. Don't go away. Don't go away. Okay, I'm back. Okay. All right. Nobody went away. I wouldn't have been able to concentrate very well. Okay. I'll just take the guidebook out just in case. But we're just gonna read the cards. Okay. So I want everybody who's holding space right now to think about Emil. Emil needs some directions. And these are sort of general directions as far as what he should be looking, what type of area he should be looking as far as jobs are concerned. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Emil. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Emil now and all throughout his journey. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Emil. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Emil now and all throughout his journey. And Emil seeks directions. Let me be the conduit of this truth. Where should he look for a job? What type of energy should he be trying to embrace in employment? What will be the greatest good in his life? Okay, this came out. Inner mind, something that is so this says you need to look for something that is mental. It's a mental related, something that uses your brain a little bit more. Your creativity. One that gives you some balance in your life. So that might be a balance between your personal life and your work life. A job that doesn't dominate your life. So, so what's the first thing we're looking at? You're looking at a so about balance. Balance. So a word. So when you're looking for a job, you want to see how does it how does balance play into the picture? How does balance and mental your so it's not, don't look for, so we're not looking at mindless, no mindless, no mindless, no mindless work. Something that challenges, that is going to be challenging to you. So no mindless. So maybe like a forklift driver. That came into my mind, a forklift driver, because you can't sleepwalk through this. If you can't sleepwalk through, you can't do this job on autopilot. You have to be on your toes. So forklift driver, a driver drawing. Something that is that something that requires sight, mental balance, and it requires sight, requires you to pay attention. Okay? That was what you were aiming for. You did say that. So, Five of Swords. I forget what that meant here. In this sense, you need to do something that will help you build your confidence. To build confidence. And you might say this might be a lot of chaos. So you're looking at something that's going to be really busy. So building confidence and is busy. So you're going to always have to be on your feet moving. So something that's going to keep you moving all the time. Flying around like these birds. It's kind of like in a state of chaos or movement or constant movement. And so you have to stay on your feet. You have to be using your head. Be using your head about this. Keeping your head straight. Being in a situation where there's lots of movement. Chaos. You have to sort things out. And sorting things out will help build your confidence. And what else? And in a sense that this job may be something that you have to, that imbalance would be something you need to be watching out for. So the idea of balance has come up here twice. It came up in the number 2, but it also comes up in this material balance, or a and so the Queen of Pentacles, and you're looking at where maybe it will pay well, because a forklift driver working in that will keep you on your toes, keep you busy all the time. It will have some material gains to it. So does that help you any? Does that help you any, Emil? So challenge. You don't want to have something that's going to keep you asleep, but hopefully you'll have some balance in between your life and your work. Anyways, that's what I got for you. All right. Well, thank you very much. Did you want me to read some lottery numbers for you too? You're welcome. You're very welcome. How many, okay, you don't work, no lottery. All right, Gig Stack, I will do you last. You're the last one, and so, all right. It's good. It's been a night of using my decks. I have a lot more decks too. I hadn't even actually looked at this one for a long time, because every time I use it to read on me, it always gave me bad news. So I dubbed this as like a bad news deck, but maybe, as long as I'm not reading myself, it's fine. Okay. Oh, I'm losing. The thing is with lottery, and I know you know this, and everyone knows this, that the chances of winning are really, really slim. And lottery is a voluntary tax. That's what it mostly is in most places. It's a yeah. It's a voluntary tax. And if you can't afford to pay extra taxes, then don't play the lottery. That's just the way it is. If you can't afford to pay extra taxes, don't play the lottery. All right, Gig Stack. All right. You are my fifth person, 26, number 5. Okay. All right, let me clear the error. Okay. What is your question? Did you write it up here? Music career. So you want to know is, will music be your career, or will it be something else? So do you teach lessons already? Do you teach? Okay. So do you teach music? So before we go and start looking in and seeing, why don't we just talk about this a little bit here? I'm going to ask you some questions, and so if we're looking at, maybe you want to be a musician and play in a band and do gigs and so forth, and then, but you also know that the music industry is so very difficult to make a living at it, because of things like Spotify and all of those platforms, that they don't really, they artists don't get paid anything or anything like that. And then you have AI generated music and everything like that is there, but you can still have a career as a musician. And I know lots of people who do have careers as a musician, but they don't have careers as a rock star. Their careers as a musician is in teaching. And that is, so you're recording artist. I'm having a good night, so but yeah. Yeah, I am. I'm here, present in the moment. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to be present in the moment, because I was watching a very good science fiction show, a series, and I was able to switch gears. It was very difficult because I really wanted to watch more episodes. But nevertheless, your career in your best, just from my, okay, just from my observations of people um, the people that I know, people in my family who make a living music, they all do it through teaching. And so this is, and that it is completely possible to make a full living teaching private lessons, teaching kids, what half-hour lessons and then half-hour lessons, and then you stack them in there, and you half-hour lessons at what, like $50 an hour or something like that. $50, $50 per session, and it's hard work. I mean, it's on the level of making a living as a tarot reader. Yeah. So you got to hustle, and you got to really hustle, and you know that because if you are already teaching and you want to move this into a place that where you are now, do you have an education in do you have an education yourself? Can you teach at a public institution or anything like that? Are you in the United States? Or are you in some other country? Where are you at? May I ask? Are you in a large city? So, what will the factors that will make this possible is to live you need to live in a large city. A large city. It's difficult in a small if you're in a rural city, it would be very difficult. If you live like where I live, where the nearest grocery store um, is 25 miles away, where I live in a food desert where it's 25 miles drive one way to go to the grocery store. I would never be able to make a I would never be able to make a living teaching music where I live because I live in in a rural area. It's just not possible unless all of my lessons were online, like through Zoom or something like that. But I'm not a musician. So if you live in a larger city, larger, we're gonna couch it that way because one of my cousins who makes a living in music, she lives in I think Nampa or Boise, Idaho. In Boise, Idaho, and Idaho is a rural state, so they're not like looking at a big. It's a larger city, but it's not a big. It's not a big metropolitan. So there's that. Your proximity to lots of people, and then you need to keep your overhead costs low. So you have to, if you can teach out of your house, or there's a place that, an apartment or something like that, that's safe for people to come, that people feel safe. But if that's possible, if that's not possible, then you have to rent a space, a studio space, in order to make this happen. And so you have to keep your overhead costs low. So that's oh, you don't teach music. You're a musician. You sing, but you don't teach music. So you're not like Floor Jensen. Floor Jensen, who is a vocalist. She sang for um, Nightwish, but she teaches music. Just about every what I've read about people who are rock stars, almost all of them teach music on the side. Even the ones that are like headliners, the headliner ones. There comes a point in time maybe when they don't do that anymore, but most all musicians that are performing artists also teach. So that's something you have to consider. And you're a singer, and but that's you know but maybe the answer that you're seeking is from spirit is will you be able to make a living as a singer, as a performing artist? Now there are the other ways that a singer and traditionally has, and you know this because you are a musician, you're an artist, but maybe hearing it from a different voice on how people have made livings is like being a character actor, a character actors, or they are studio musicians. They need they need a vocalist to lay down some tracks and so forth. I think that they used to hire those things, but with the way that the music industry is today, I think that I don't know. I think there's a chance. I think that your chances of being able to make a living is kind of really on the level of like rolling the dice. So we take and roll these dice. I mean, take this like as entertainment purposes. If it's an even number, it's yes. If it's an odd number, it's no. And do you really, really want to know if will an answer like I gotta ask you a question. The question I gotta ask for you here is if the answer is no, will that deter you from pursuing a career in music? I mean, if it was me, if it was me, because I am an artist and I have pursued art my entire life. Okay, then it doesn't really matter what this roll of this dice is. And we're gonna ask spirit here. Will Gigstack be able to support life as a musician? Even number, yes. Odd number, no. 10, 15, 16, 17, 18 is an even number. So the answer, just according to dice, is yes. The answer is yes. You want to do this, you will do this. Are you married? Do you have a domestic partner? Because you may need to okay. I think you need to seriously consider getting married, um, and not more out of stability reasons and economic reasons. Um, but then that is why people get married, isn't it? More for a sense of finding somebody who will respect you as an individual and will not and your goals. So a you're looking at the ideal type of relationship. This would be like marrying somebody who was a medical professional, where they had a job that earned a middle class wage, right? And like my buddy, my I have my childhood friend. His second wife is a doctor, and he became a stay-at-home dad. He gave up his career as a software engineer to be a stay-at-home dad, and it was okay. I mean, his child is in high school, and but these types of things that this is the type of probably relationship that you will need. Now, it's not to say that you, as a single person, you can do this, and you probably need to, in this. Do you use substances? Do you like party and drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes or anything like that? Do you do any of that stuff? I'm just asking you that in that as a singer you probably shouldn't do that because you can wreck your voice. You can wreck your voice through smoking, but you want to in your life, and this is in this being of the, because this is for you. When I drew page numbers and to gain the theme for this reading last night, when I finished last night's reading, it was the theme here that came up was all about foundations and building being a strong leader in your life and building a strong foundation in yourself. And in that foundation, this is in a sense of you are being in command of who you are. And you're building the foundation of your body, which is your temple. It's the temple of your spirit. And that involves making healthy choices. You may be young, I don't know how old you are, but that doesn't really matter. You're probably a young person, and you're in your 20s, I'm going to guess. And it may feel like your house is built upon sand, but your temple, you should work on building your temple, your body. And that is making healthy choices, but also healthy choices are healthy choices in your mind. And it is in coming in command of yourself. And, being your confidence level. But some of this stuff in building a foundation for your life will be about having a partner and having a marital partner. And I think that that's something that you need to be pursuing, a marital partner. But like I said, you have to be careful in this type of relationship, because your in marriage in this, either it might be somebody who is also a musician too, but there has to be some kind of a mutual agreement where you are in this relationship and you are partners. You're partners first. And, and you're not in competition with each other. Because a lot of times marriages, people end up in competition with one another. You can't have that kind of relationship. In order to have this strong foundation, you can't have that relationship where you are in competition with your partner. You have to be on an equal footing and in balance with one another. So if you would think that it's this and it's this person, and this person is a strong person, and you are a strong person, you're in command of yourself. You're in command of your facilities. It's not mean that you're going to be an authoritarian. You're not an angry person. You are coming in this in a place of love, and you're coming into it from a place where there are these types of things going on. There are boundaries. There's balance, and there's this the boundaries and the rules and the boundaries, and it's also coming from a place of love. But it may be that love is a place of agape love. Romantic love, yes, that's true. But relationships that last 20, 40 years are built upon agape love. They're built upon this other kind of love, and that's being in this sense of this partnership. 2 + 4 = 6 of the emperor and the high priestess. And this is what Spirit is telling me, that why I don't really need to draw the cards to tell you about this, and this is why I'm giving you this reading in this fashion. Okay? I mean, this is giving you something to think about. Something to think about. But I'm going to ask Mary Mother here. And we'll part with that. I hope that this is helpful. It's probably not what you wanted to hear. I have a sense that this is not what you wanted to hear. But Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. Gigstack. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Gigstack, now and all throughout his journey. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Gigstack. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Gigstack, now and all throughout his journey. He seeks truth here. He seeks a word of truth on how to proceed with his life. He seeks a word of truth on how to proceed with his life as an artist. He feels called to be an artist, and he doesn't want to be anything else. This is who he is. He is an artist. And he wants to make his life this as an artist. He seeks guidance. I am just the conduit. Please speak your truth through me. The divine feminine is awakening in your heart. She guides you to apply your heart wisdom to any challenges in your life, transforming something that was once a cause of concern or even fear into a chance to realize the depth, power, and spiritual capacity of your soul. You are strong enough to open up and let others connect to your powerful, awakened, and beautiful heart. And so this card is for you. You can think of it as it's about having a partnership in your life, about balance. Being in balance. Divine feminine, and that is in that sense that is that you draw upon that feminine energy in you to create that creative spirit. You draw upon that divine masculine spirit in you to provide structure, for your life. And you need both of these things in order to succeed. You need the creativity and you need the structure. And that's what I got for you. I hope that helps. You're welcome. I know this wasn't what you were expecting, but you have an exciting life ahead of you. I do think you need to strongly consider a partner in your life. But make sure that when you choose that person, that it comes from a place of understanding, that all that stuff is understood up front, that you're not in competition with one another, that you are a partner. And that's the most important thing. You can have hot romantic love with somebody who is a partner, but that may be something that develops in time. But that's what Spirit has told me here. But contemplate these different spirits. The Emperor, the High Priestess. 4 + 2 is 6. And it's about love. It's the joining of love. And that joining in love is not necessarily a romantic thing. And because as you know, you have parents, and if your parents are still together, or your grandparents, and you've met people who've been married for 50 years or more, you look into their lives. I mean, they're not easy. There's no such thing as an easy marriage. But sometimes the strongest ones are the ones that are built on a partnership and an understanding. Because you as an artist, it's difficult. It's it's difficult. I'm assuming that you're, are you, I never asked what your gender is. It doesn't matter. But it's okay. I'm not gonna go there. But that's my that's what I got for you. All right. I'm gonna close the readings out for tonight. I will be back on doing readings Tuesday. And tomorrow afternoon after church, I will do prayers for like a half hour or so. If I will pray for everybody who I read in this last week. I may not say your name, but that's okay. And prayers for, and that's the Sunday thing. You're welcome. And I need to get to sleep. You know what? I'm gonna end here. No, not. I don't know that way. I think that was. Yeah, we're gonna end right here. I think I was gonna end with a poem, but let's just do a page. I'm gonna do a page. A page. This is for everybody. For me. For you. For everybody. A page from my missal. Okay. In the rising of your sun, which is Christ consciousness, death gives birth to new life. The sufferings he endured restored hope to a fallen world. Let sin never ensnare us with empty promises of passing joy. Make us one with you always, so that our joy may be holy and our love may give life. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. And these are spirits for whatever they mean to you. You don't have to follow the same mythological path that I follow. But if I were to go and look at this, we were looking at transformation, the cycle of life, the continual transformation of life. It is the rising of, and so this is about a transformational experience. And it actually comes in 3 different parts. I should have looked at the page number energy. We are looking in these different spirits here. And I can tell this story in four parts. And it's very cyclical. This is a cyclical thing. And when we tell it through tarot, it's a cyclical thing. It's something that happened. These things are a continual basis. And so you come into the world this way. There's the feminine spirit, and it brings you into the world. And then you grow. You grow into a mature person. And that mature person has this knowledge that is with them. But then there's this other stage. The mature person has a transformative experience. Now, we're not talking about a literal death, and we're not talking about a literal birth. We're talking about a beginning a middle, a place where we have to let go of things that no longer serve us. And then there is this sense of a rebirth, the letting go of things that no longer serve you, to let those things go, and then you come into yourself as a new or an enlightened being. And this is the cycle. It goes from here to here to here to here. This is just told simply. You're welcome. You're welcome. And so this is just a process. It's cyclical process. And if we look in terms of like the fool's journey, it begins with the magician and it ends with the world. But the world is over here, and then it starts over again. And that prayer that I read essentially is this cycle. It's an invitation for transformation. And it's a continual thing, a continual thing, a continual thing. And I'm talking to me as well as I'm talking to you. I'm talking more to me because I need to remember this stuff too. Because when I started this thing, I started with a question about how can I walk away from my own sin? How do I do that? My own senses, because we are all struggling here. We all have struggles. How do you let go of that stuff? You know? And it's hard. It's really, really hard to let go of those things. Because a lot of times those things, they give us comfort. You know, we are holding on to our trauma. We're holding on to our woundedness. We're holding on to those things that don't serve us. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm gonna go. This won't be the last time you hear this either. Thank you very much. I did Ayushi. That's how I did his reading. These cards were cards I selected before I started this reading. Yeah, wounds are very comfortable. Anyways, I'm gonna be back in like 12, about in less than 12 hours for a short time, and then I'm gonna take a break until Tuesday. So we read on this deck, and I read on this deck, which was 3 installments at $20. I did on a payment plan. This was probably the most expensive deck I've ever purchased. I have 2 different versions of it. I have the mini version, which you can't see. It's really too mini. And then, yeah. All right. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me, for holding space. I need to wind myself down. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Yushi. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Oh, that box just fell apart. I bought this deck used. I think I wish I would have bought it new, but it's okay. It's serving me well. I love this deck. The Lightseer deck, yeah. Yeah, anyways, I have 3 different versions of this deck here. This design. These 3 are all the same design. The Universal Weight Tarot, the tiny cards, the Apprentice Tarot, the same deck, and this is the same deck. And yeah. Anyways, that's all I got. Oh, this one? It's the Dreamscapes. Here, I'll show it to you. I'm going to put my candle out. I do get a asthmatic reaction from having this thing here. There's air particulates in the atmosphere, wildfires and everything. Okay. I'll just kind of show you. Dreamscape Tarot. Dream. Tarot. So, this is it. It's a really nice piece. I like it. There are things about it that are. It's kind of flat, a little bit flat, but this is it. Yeah, I don't know how much it costs outside the United States, but with shipping, it could be pretty high. I think they have just a couple products. Anyways, the Light Seer is easy to find. It's a mass market deck. Yeah. And for the last tarot deck that I'm gonna buy, I bought this year is this one here. I wasn't gonna buy this, but I did. It was on sale. Oh, the mini cards. I don't think I did a. It doesn't come with a guidebook. It has like an online one. I don't really like online books. I have a lot. The cards are just little miniature versions of the big ones. It reminds me of a same place. I buy everything through Jeff Bezos' website. I've never had my financial information ripped off from Amazon, but I have had it and buying off of other platforms, and so I don't. There we go. That's all we got for you. I have bought from Etsy before. I have Etsy is the other platform I've bought from. I do not buy from Temu. Anyways, I've been on for a long time, been on for 2.5 hours. All right, I'm gonna say goodnight, and I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Ayushi. Thank you, Gigstack. Thank you, Emil. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Raphael. And thank everybody in Chinese Disco Bay, babe, for just kind of hanging out. I have a lot more tarot decks too. I probably have close to 40 tarot decks. I don't know. Anyways, I have a lot. Way too many. Good night. And pleasant dreams to everybody. And have a wonderful week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night.